Hello NIS fans! So I wasn't planning on making a guide video for Pucelle Ragnarok because I really don't know what kind of information people wouldn't already know or would find useful. And well, I still don't. But I have gotten a few questions relating to grinding, getting through the story, or whatever. So I'll do my best to bring something useful to the table, or at the very least, help out a new player. Alright, so the big thing on everyone's mind is where to level. Prior to Ragnarok, Chapter 1 power leveling using Devil's Stomach, Hall of the Dead, and the Netherworld was a must for completionists. That's not the case anymore now that New Game Plus is a thing. However, I find these strategies to still be mostly relevant throughout the game, at least before Cave of Ordeal is unlocked. Note that between Chapter 7 and 11 you'll lose access to these areas temporarily, so if you get stuck during that time, you just have to apply what you know on the maps you have available. So to start off, proper gear will make this easier and go faster, so that's what I like to immediately focus on in my playthroughs. If you've watched my fusion guide, you generally know that you don't need many levels on items to fuse them effectively, and if you haven't seen it, you should probably look at that to understand this crucial system. Anyway, I prefer to use Devil's Stomach to set up a simple square miracle chain with no snakes to create a trainer item right away. This is just slapping on as many stat levelers as I can before I get bored, since this makes gaining stat experience faster. My main focus was on resistance and defense for defensive buffs, attack for offensive buffs, int for purification buffs, and speed for extra movement, which will all be needed to help clear harder content later. When you need to power level your gear, like with weapons you don't plan to fuse or the gear that have a ton of attributes to transfer, the Hall of the Dead is the perfect place. The map is large, allowing for huge miracle combos, especially if you snake properly. Do keep in mind that there is a limit of 15 change-ups you can use on the map, plus the 8 characters you can deploy. As long as no one dies, that's 22 directional changes you can have, so don't accidentally create a path that doesn't connect, like I did many times before. Feels bad, man. Unfortunately, you can't abuse the enemy directional change bug anymore, but Dark Portal stream direction can still be permanently changed by placing a character or a change-up item directly on top, and then undoing. In addition, to fully maximize the rewards from Hall of the Dead, make sure you get the triple purification experience buff from the Rosen Queen shop. This will make it even more worthwhile since it can take some time to set up a big combo. You can also get the triple money if you're running low, but money was never a problem for me when grinding miracles, so I don't expect it will be a problem for you either. Now that you have your gear, it's time to level the actual characters. Ally Genocide is a very valid way to level weak characters early on when you don't have the proper gear. It's quick and easy. Just deploy a character fully equipped with offensive items and use a skill which should hopefully one-shot or come close, then immediately leave the map. You don't get any money, but I'd rather it be quicker since performing miracle chains or clearing the Netherworld is better in my opinion. There are also some ways to make this process easier as well. Equipping 5/8 elemental property gear will unlock Braveheart, which will give a 20% increase up to a max of 100%, with a reduction of 40% each turn. This is a very important skill to have, especially for killing bosses, so might as well level it while grinding. Having a large AoE attack is also recommended so you can murder more people faster. If you're still having trouble and your customer rank is at least D, you can dump some money on Death Armor or Iron Boots, which reduces a character's stats. However, this method of leveling falls off rather quickly, so be sure to take your situation into account before buying. Reason being, there are better ways to level powerful characters. When you hit Chapter 8, there will be a level called Unknown Fear, which will have a level 100 boss that can be killed repeatedly for great experience. Increase this level and get the triple experience buff and you've got level for days. Not only that, if you kill it before finishing Chapter 8, you get a special ending along with an awesome item called the Goddess Ring. It has 3 of every stat leveler as well as increasing all the raw stats by 100. As good as farming Unknown Fear is, nothing will beat the well-known Cave of Ordeals. It's a giant square map with no obstacles or height disparities. Very easy to set off even larger miracle combos than those in Hall of the Dead. The Netherworld is also a great alternative, especially when Cave of Ordeal is not unlocked. There are powerful demons everywhere. I can control their levels more or less with the DEI, and I get rewards at the end of it for killing the level 10 boss. Before tackling this though, you need to make sure you're prepared because once you're in, there's no going back until you reach the last portal on the 10th floor. Another world with a DEI of 100 will usually have enemies around the level 10 to 20 mark, which isn't too difficult. So if you want to get familiar with it, this is a great place to start. If you've done any grinding already, like having some fused weapons or being a higher level, this will not be hard. As you start pushing the boundaries of what you can complete, there are a few things to increase your chance for success. I like to have one character that's a hard hitter to defeat the level 10 boss. That's my Pucelle, but you can have anyone you want. She has my strongest gear and can take on demons at least 100 levels above her own. You'll also want to recruit some weaker monsters for decoy fodder, though they're a little less necessary now that reactions are a thing. However, RNG isn't always in your favor, so they will absolutely come in handy in clutch situations. Enemies will typically try to target them over stronger allies if they can, so try placing them kinda close but spread out to avoid AoEs. Then you'll want someone stacked with boots to blitz and exit, or have a purifier with a power of at least 160 to 170, so you can purify a dark portal in one go for reactions to move again. As your hard hitter gets stronger and stronger, you will also start increasing the difficulty to match so the experience stays relevant. This will also get you closer towards your first title for Pucelle, which will allow you to purify bosses, as well as getting an incredibly useful item called the Warp Engine. This will allow you to teleport anywhere on the map, giving you easy access to set up miracle attacks. You can abuse this item on all your characters by moving them to where you want them, then unequipping the item and putting them on another character to do the same. Do keep in mind that if you perform an action before unequipping, you can no longer take it off. Once you're at this point in the game, it should be smooth sailing and you're well on your way to taking on NIS's greatest demon overlord Baal, and all of his magnificent forms. Before you head out to become the strongest supreme overlord all the Netherworlds have ever seen, there are a few more things unrelated to grinding that may be of interest, so
stay a while and listen.
The Overlord Pucelle path is normally accessed by completing the game first, but you can also enter a cheat like back in the old days to start with this mode first. If you press XYB XYB while the cursor is on new game, Pucelle will say she wants to become a Maiden of Light to signify the code has been accepted, and you will start on the Overlord path. Pucelle also has a secret skill that can be unlocked after certain requirements are met. To obtain it, get Chapter 3's bad ending, return to the Shrine of the Beast to get the Bear Cub, level him to 20, and then bring him back to the shrine. He'll leave, but in return, Pucelle will have a new ability. In other secret news, Rosen Queen's shop can get supplies from the Dark World. If you buy out the entire inventory, she will restock with items from the Dark World branch, which can sometimes be significantly better, but not always. On the topic of hidden items, the Angel Shoes is a unique item that gives +3 to move. To snag this, you have to get the special ending in Chapter 4 by defeating the whale at the harbor. This should be no issue for all the talented players who have watched this video, so have at it! Okay, that's it. Despite thinking I had nothing to say, I sure made this video run long. Hopefully there was something in here that you could find useful, and if you didn't, well, maybe you found it enjoyable. If you have any more questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.